What's up, guys? It's Corey from Lion Dads back with another video. I help dads take back their health and fitness using a low carb, animal based way of eating and strength focused exercise. Today, I want to talk to you guys about something that I see all the time in online forums and Facebook groups, and even with the people that I'm helping out and going through their own journey. And that is what happens when you slip up. What happens when you deviate from your way of eating and you eat something with, say, sugar, processed carbohydrates, seed oils, or whatever. I see this happen literally every day. I see people comment on it. I hear about it from the people that I'm, working with, helping out. And I'm here to say, don't panic. Don't feel like a failure. I'm here to walk you through it. So let's talk about it. So the first thing I want to say is that we're all human. You know, you're not a perfect being. You aren't someone who's above making mistakes. I don't care who you are. None of you are in here that are these impeccable, all knowing, infallible people who can do no wrong. You probably got here in the first place because you had a screwed up diet to begin with. You got fat, you got unhealthy, and now you need to fix it. You know, so you started a carnivore diet, an animal based way of eating, just to see what happens. And you do good for a few days, a few weeks, months, whatever. And then boom, a moment of weakness comes along and you eat a donut or you drink a beer and you have like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and now you're pissed off at yourself, right? And this is a common occurrence. You know, believe it or not, it may have actually happened to me a couple times, right? So the question is, how do we handle it and how do we move on from it? And I get why it happens and I get why we feel this way. You've started something new. You've seen the results maybe, from someone or, someone on YouTube, or you read a book and you see all these results and benefits and the possibility of a lot of your problems maybe going away. And this way of eating gives you a chance at least, right? You want some of these benefits for yourself, so you decide, hey, I'm gonna give it a shot. And I'll admit at first it can be a hell of a lot harder than you think it would be. You don't realize how much garbage people eat until you're not eating it. And when you start eating this way, you become very observant toward what other people are eating. You're not doing not like in a judgy way. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like as someone who was likely addicted to something, you know, and you still crave it, you still want it, you feel like you need it, right? Like take an alcoholic, for example. So if you're an alcoholic and your first day of not drinking, are you going to go hang out at a whiskey bar or brewery and sit there while your friends drink and you're just not going to have any? Hell no. That'd be idiotic. Everyone should have the common sense to think that wouldn't work. Your friends would actually tell you stay home anyway, if they were worth a crap as friends. That's how I see it. They would support you, right? But unfortunately, so when you realize you have a food problem, when you have an issue with your relationship with food, the world doesn't work the same way, as if, you had another addiction or another issue with a substance or something. There isn't any getting away from it. You can't isolate yourself from food. You need to eat still. And, the reality is it's everywhere. Especially in the Western world, everyone's always eating. I look around and all I see is people eating, eating, eating in their car, in at work, obviously in a place where people eat, restaurants and stuff, but and it's always food with like poor nutritional content. And what's worse, the people around you, they don't care about your lifestyle change. Let's get that out of the way right now. You know, they're not going to alter their choices to accommodate you, and nor should they have to, obviously. But they don't see anything wrong in eating the trash that society's programmed them to think, hey, this thing's okay. You can eat this. It's not that bad, you know. And if you look for your friends or even your family members to support you, you're in for a rude awakening. If anything, they're going to shame the hell out of you for eating the way you do. You know, I couldn't begin to tell you how many times I heard it myself, like, oh, Corey, you need to live your life too, man. Everything in moderation. A little bit of this or a little bit of that isn't going to kill you. You're being unrealistic or crazy or whatever. And, those restrictive diets, they always fail, you know. And now here I am years later in honestly probably some of the, like, almost the best shape of my life, at least definitely in my like middle adult life. And, they're still fat, they're still in pain, their health's still a mess, but I'm the crazy one, you know. Um, but it's all around you, and that's why you fail. You fail because really, in reality, you only have yourself to rely on. So, what's it take to get over that? Right? I'm going to show you. One, first of all, you need to accept failure. Or you need to at least change the word failure. Let's call it, instead of failure, let's call it a deviation. Okay, like a deviation that has consequences. And you have to pay attention to the way things affect you. Does it make you feel bad, like from a health or physical standpoint? Did you get a headache? Do you look a little puffier? Does your stomach hurt when you went to the gym after? Were you lethargic? Pay attention to those kind of things and remember them. Think about it before you eat that thing again. Was it worth it? Was it worth you being down on yourself? Was it worth the guilt? Was it worth having to now go and, oh, guys, I screwed up, and put yourself out there like that? Was all that worth what you had, you know? So there's a phrase that I like to use, and I've been steadily integrating it into everything in my life lately, and with my food choices it's no different. I like with everything. I've been using this phrase. It's a really well-known term, and what I'm talking about is ROI, return on investment. And I've started looking at every action I make as an investment. When you invest your money on something, you expect something right back, a good product or more money in the long run, right? I started looking at my time and my actions as investments as well. So I asked, what do I get back from this? If I eat a slice of cake, what do I get back from that? You know, I get a temporary dopamine hit, and that's really all you get from that. How much is that worth to you? Because the truth is, there's no nutritional value in that cake. And that dopamine hit isn't even really worth the guilt that I feel afterward, right? You can cope and tell me it is all you want and you don't feel guilt. And maybe that's the case. We're all different. But I hope you're being honest with yourself when you say that. So what's the ROI if I was to eat some eggs, let's say? I get good nutritional value from the eggs. Believe me, eat eggs. They fill me up. They taste awesome. Eating eggs to me, that's worth my time. What I get back is worth that action. The cake doesn't fill me up. Shit, it makes me just want more, to be honest with you. And, I'm disappointed that I'm stopping myself when I'm eating it. You know what I mean? Because you just want more, 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 more. And like, do you eat, so for example, just one donut? Like if you're at work and someone brings them in, yeah, you probably just eat one donut because it'd be embarrassing to eat more, right? Like someone might make a remark about it, like a snarky comment, like, dang, slow down, man. There's like a shame involved in that for most people. If next time someone brings donuts in, watch. You can see it. You can see people really, really want it, you know, and they only eat one and they stop themselves and they're just like, oh my God, I want to eat the whole box. And they're disappointed as hell they can't, and I bet you are too. And you could eat the whole box, you would still want more. And if you did that, you would had done nothing for yourself, nothing positive anyway. you know so my thought is, and a plan of action you can take is, every time you deviate from your way of eating in a negative way, record it somehow. Write it down on a piece of paper, or in your computer. Keep a journal, whatever you want to do. If you deviate on accident, it wasn't something planned, it just happened, write down what you ate, write down how you felt, what you noticed. Start looking at how often it happens. If it's often, like multiple times a week, you might have to stop and think, man, do I have some kind of problem? Is there some kind of problem that's making this happen? You know, look at what the environmental factors are, what's going on around you, what mood you're in, how are you feeling, what kind of day you had when you have these days where you accidentally, deviate. Start looking for patterns that tell you why. There may be something telling you like this is why this keeps happening on this specific day or with this specific food or just the reason this is happening. If it was just a one-off thing, I wouldn't stress too much. It happens. You just get back on the horse and keep going, and the next one happens way down the road. Same thing. Get back on the horse, keep going. But if it's not, if it's something that keeps happening, really look into it. You know, what keeps happening that led to that action? You may need to make some lifestyle adjustments to get you out of these, zones or things that happened that led you to these poor choices. Like I said, deviations are going to happen for almost everybody. You just don't want them to become habits, which is what led you here in the first place, was making and allowing bad habits. So really, to summarize, you have to learn to be a whole support system to yourself when you're undertaking this way of eating. You have to learn how to have your own back. You have to learn to tell yourself, no, you screwed up, but it's okay. Take the damage, minimize it, and keep going. Because we're all in the small corner of this nutritional universe, as far as us on this animal based diet. And I really feel like we're the outlaws of it, man. We're the ones going against the grain, no pun intended. And in the end, the only thing that matters is, we're doing what's best for ourselves. Everyone else's opinions be damned. It hurts, no matter how much you love the people around you who, even if they doubt you and shame you and they tell you you're wrong, you'll have your results to show it at the end. If you just stick to it and you focus and you keep going, you keep grinding, you will be able to show your results and you will have the last laugh. So that's really all I have for today. As always, guys, I've got all the links to my socials and stuff down in the description. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell to keep seeing my content, and leave a comment below with any questions or ideas for anything that you guys might have. So, till next time, peace out.